Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible. Good evening. Thanks for joining at this time. Should be ज़्यादा नहीं, 1.5 hours. The agenda here is to, because we're launching the crash course, and how many students are there who are not a part of iQuanta? So pre-crash course, as the name suggests, pre-crash course. Okay, so basically we'll be starting, I'll be telling that what is actually required to go through algebra. I've been doing basic stuff. That basic stuff is going to help you a lot in different other things across all the chapters. Hey Jagjit, I'm doing fine. How are you? So here we go. And you also need to know what is the schedule of this pre-crash course. Today, it's my session, as you can see. 23rd, 24th, it'll be Shabana ma'am's. She'll be discussing most important RC genres. Then it'll be LRDA starter class by Kamal sir. Then again by Shabana ma'am, VA tips and tricks. Then Narad sir, arithmetic booster. Most important LRDA PYQs by Kamal sir. And then it will be again, Shabana ma'am will be having complete RC marathon. Okay? Yeah, exactly. So basically, people who will be going into the crash course, and if I start teaching, all the high fundu topics, then obviously that won't be good with you. So what I'll do, I'll be discussing things which are important to algebra, to crack CAT QA, and the mindset of being good in algebra. Okay, so we'll develop that mindset. We'll do some basic stuff which a lot of you might be knowing, but then again, if we start doing it, it is going to help you a lot. Topics of algebra are these. Linear equation is there, then special equations. Now when I say special equations, it's, I'll tell you, today we'll be dealing with this. A lot of things in special equations. This is very, very important. And a lot of people have problems here also. Yeah, exactly. Quadratic equations, surds and indices, inequalities, modulus, maximum minima, logarithm, sequences series, functional graphs. So my focus today would be on special equation and surds and indices. We won't be doing the full chapter of it, but I'll prepare you. Abhigyan kaun se sir? I'll prepare you, prep you, for these two things. Talking about me, that was my picture from 3 years back. I had long hair, I was thin. Probably talking about me only. I got the sarcasm. Modulus aaj nahi karenge, Priyanshu. That not be a great idea. Chalo. So a few basic things, first of all. If I ask you, try to solve this equation. 2x plus 3y equal to 5 and 4x plus 7y is equal to 11. Then what is the value of x and y? It's a simple thing, right? All of us can do that. Hey Vasant. A simple thing, all of us can do that. So to solve these kind of equations here, the degree is 1. What's degree? Degree, maine kya likha hai, this is y. Degree, the power of variable, it's 1 in both the cases. Okay, and there are two variables, so we need two equations to solve it. We also have the answers here, but it was y. So two ways of solving it. One way, method 1 is like, you can write this as x is equal to 5 minus 3y by 2. That is how you have represented x in terms of y. And this value you can put in the second equation. So we'll be having 4 times 5 minus 3y whole upon 2 plus 7y equal to 11, and you can solve it. Okay, I won't be solving this. It's just a basic thing that you guys should know. This is how we solve it in case you want to find the value of y. If you want to find the value of x, I'll try to represent y in terms of x and then do it. So I hope all of you understand this part. This is basically substitution. The other way is elimination, in which whatever we have to calculate, we keep that, other things we just eliminate. For example, the same question, if I write 2x plus 3y is equal to 5 and 4x plus 7y is equal to 11. Let's say I want to eliminate y. Okay. मैं क्या करूँगा? Here the coefficient of y is 3. Here it is 7. I'll multiply with the reverse of the coefficients, like 7 here, 3 here. And when I do it, the equations get transformed to 14x plus 21y is equal to 35 and 12x plus 21y is equal to 33. Now we can subtract things. This gets cancelled out. 2x becomes 2, so x becomes 1. Clear? This is known as the elimination technique. So essentially, whenever we have simultaneous equations, linear equations, we can solve them by using two different techniques. One is substitution, in which we represent x in terms of y or y in terms of x, depending on what we have to calculate. Other is elimination, in which we multiply the equations with the coefficients of the other equation, depending on whether we calculate y or x. ठीक है? नहीं, मैंने वहाँ यश एक बात बोली. मैंने बोला अगर x कैलकुलेट करना है तो y करना होता तो 2 से कर देते. ओके, ऑलराइट. नाउ there is something which all of us know. What we don't know, possibly, let's discuss that. And I will discuss the behavior of linear equations. This is going to be a basic, not just a refresher, basic, moderate to complicated stuff, which will be a part of CAT. We're going to discuss that. Behavior of linear equations. Let's discuss that. All right. चलो. नो ध्रुव, उसमें अलग था. Linear equation. The general form of linear equation is ax plus by plus c equal to 0. So here you see, let us get this clearly. X and y are the variables used whose powers are 1. A and b are the respective coefficients and c is the constant term. Clear? So a or b or c can be anything. Whatever the value is, we'll get a linear equation. Now why is it called linear? Because if you try to plot it, for example, let's say 2x plus 3y is equal to let's say 60. ऐसा कुछ हो गया? That's a linear equation. Yes or no? And to represent it clearly in the above format, I can just write this as minus 60 equal to 0. So this looks properly in the form of general form, where a is 2, b is 3 and c is 60. Right? Nice. Just write general form here. Now, there's another way of writing the same thing. In this example, I can represent this as y as a function of x. Y is dependent on x. So I can write, now listen to me carefully, 3y is equal to minus 2x plus 60. Is that right? Sending 2x and 60 on the minus 60 on the right hand side. Then dividing this whole thing by 3. Divide by 3. If you do it, this 3y becomes y only. Here we get minus 2 by 3 times x plus 60 by 3 is 20. That is what we get. Okay. Krisha, कोई बात नहीं, clear हो जाएगा वो भी. Now, when we represent y in terms of x, our motive is to have coefficient of y as 1, and pursuit of doing that, whatever we get is the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form of a linear equation. So now we have two things, general form and slope-intercept form. ठीक है? Which is y is equal to mx plus c, where m is known as the slope and c is known as the y-intercept. It's y-intercept, not the x-intercept. I'll tell you the reason behind it. Clear? Now, having said that, there is one more thing for the same equation. Let's say, look at this. तो मैंने यहाँ क्या किया, चीज़ों को सिंपली लिख दिया. यहाँ मैंने क्या किया, सबको 3 से डिवाइड किया और y को रखा एक तरफ, बाकी सब एक तरफ। एक चीज़ और मैं कर सकता हूँ, यहाँ पे 60 का साइन इज यहाँ माइनस है तो राइट में प्लस हो गया। ओके, नाउ आई कैन डू वन थिंग, द सेम इक्वेशन आई कैन राइट इट एज 2x + 3y इक्वल टू 60 एंड देन डिवाइड होल थिंग बाय 60। यहाँ डिवाइड किससे किया? कांस्टेंट टर्म से। व्हेन आई डू दैट, व्हाट आई गेट? I get x by 30 plus y by 20 is equal to 1. Now, having said that, tell me something. If I want to calculate the x-intercept, by the way, what is x-intercept? X-intercept is that point at which the graph, the line cuts the x-axis, and y-intercept is that point on the graph where the line cuts the y-axis. Okay. Here, this 30 happens to be the x-intercept. अच्छा, मैंने बोला x-intercept is that point at which the line cuts the x-axis. How would we know that? So, at x-axis, the value of y is equal to 0. Yeah, only care I use goggles for fashion, it's not for the power, okay? Well, so if I put y equal to 0, think about that. If I put y equal to 0, this becomes 0. So x by 30 is 1, that is x is 30. And similarly, this will be the y-intercept. So if I put x as 0, I'll get y as 20. Clear? So x by a plus y by b is equal to 1 happens to be two intercepts form of the same straight line. So now we have established a fact that a straight line can be represented in 3 different ways. One is the general form, second is the slope intercept form, and third is two intercepts form. All right, all of you, is that clear? Okay, now what is the utility, what's the benefit of these different forms? ये तो बस एक वो है, representation है. It has got not much utility, that is a representation of straight line. Here there's a utility, here also there is a utility. Now we'll talk about utility of these two forms. Okay, ready for that? All of us on the same page? Let's try and understand utility of all these forms. General form is for the representation purpose. Coming to the slope intercept form, what's the exact utility? Let's discuss that. Where y is equal to mx plus c. Cool. Okay. I'll take the same example so that it's easy for you. This one. Y is equal to minus 2 by 3 times x plus 20. So, what essentially happens over here? First of all, I'll draw a graph. Everybody pay attention. All of this is basic stuff, but this basic stuff can create a lot of difficult questions. So, we will be analyzing the behavior of straight lines here. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Nice. ठीक है, अब मैं क्या करूँगा? Now if someone tells me, hey, someone tells me, सुनो भाई, मैं चाहता हूँ, someone tells me, मैं चाहता हूँ that y is an integer. Now, all of you should try and understand this part. If the condition is put that y is an integer, what does that mean? What does that mean? This is the condition that someone has put. So now we are forced to do one thing. What? That will always consider x to be a multiple of 3. Do you understand that? Yes or no? That is the trick here. Do you understand that? Akul, exactly. Yes, Saloni. Very good. क्योंकि अब अगर तुम x को 3 रखोगे तो 3 और 3 कट जाएगा. So if you want to look at the table that we can make here, x and y के लिए, if I put x as 1, minus 2 by 3 plus 20, fraction मिल जाएगा. नहीं चाहिए मेरे को ये, right? Not the condition. If I put x is 2, again not the condition. If I put x is 3, wow, I'm happy. 3 got cancelled out. Minus plus 20 is 18. This is my happy moment. If I put x as 6, 3 2s are 6, minus 4, तो मुझे मिल जाएगा 16. Again, I'm happy. I'm really happy with that. Getting it? So now we have analyzed one thing, that x should be a multiple of 3. That is given. That is understood. Now, also, ये दोनों तो किसी काम के है ही नहीं. 3 से बना 6, तो अगला 9 होगा. जाहिर सी बात है. ये 18 से बना 16, मतलब माइनस 2 हुआ. यहाँ प्लस 3 हुआ, यहाँ माइनस 2 हुआ. Is that right? Let me write a few more numbers. 9, 12. Okay? 14 and 12 again. यहाँ 12 बराबर हो गया. Okay. So when I was going downwards, I saw plus 3, increment of 3 in x, decrement of 2 in y. But if I go upwards, I will see decrement of 3 in x and increment of 2 in y. Do you understand that? So what exactly is happening over here? What exactly is happening over here? That x and y will change with the coefficients of each other. All right? So if one increases, other has to decrease. So x will be increasing by the coefficient of y if y is decreasing by coefficient of x, or vice versa. X will be decreasing by the coefficient of y and y will be increasing by the coefficient of x. So that is why slope-intercept form comes into perspective. Now we have understood that. That is clear. So slope is minus 2 by 3. So what is slope? What is slope? The vertical distance traveled by a point, getting it? Vertical distance traveled by a point divided upon the horizontal distance traveled by the point in the same time. That is slope, isn't it? Vertical growth upon horizontal growth. तो बात समझ में आ रही है? देखो क्या हो गया, स्लोप minus 2 by 3 आ गया. तो horizontal growth is x. Whenever we plot the curve, x is always the horizontal line and y is always the vertical line. So now you understand that. So if x is growing by 3 units, y is declining by 2 units. Similarly, if x is declining by 3 units, y is growing by 2 units. So that is why slope is negative, is minus 2 by 3. Got it, all of you? Is that understood? Let's draw the graph. This will be 30, 0 and this will be 0, 20. Understood, all of you? ठीक है. Slope is negative. अब ये बात समझ गए अगर सब लोग, तो अब इसके आगे हम एक चीज़ और समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Kanishka, there will be 1 to 1 hour 30 minutes of the classes and we'll doing the basics of algebra so that you become better in understanding what it is all about. Okay. Now, here you can see this in two different perspectives. One is, let's say you are thinking about a point that is going downwards. इस तरह नीचे जा रहा है. मतलब point पहले यहाँ था, यहाँ पहुँच गया. Everyone, tell me, point has gone there, okay, from here to here. Initial position, final position. So, in terms of vertical, point has gone down. In terms of horizontal, point has gone right. ये left रही है इसके. Second point is towards the right of the first point. Yeah. Second point is to the down and right of the first point. So down and right. That means slope must be down upon right. Now having said that, we can also imagine this way, that what if this is the initial point, this is the final point, now it is going upwards. So in terms of vertical distance, it is going up and horizontal it's going left, isn't it? Because the final point is is towards up and left from the initial point. ठीक है ना? Is that right? So what have we understood by now? For the same line, two things are happening. If upward, if numerator is down, यशवंत, आई एम स्पीकिंग ओनली इंग्लिश, हिंदी तो मैंने बोला ही नहीं एक बार भी. क्या हो गया यशवंत? व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम? Did I see any single thing in Hindi except some name? I didn't. So the slope is here from this perspective. The numerator is down and denominator is right. From this perspective, numerator is up and denominator is left. So what exactly is happening? Now, all of us know that in vertical distance, things are up and down. In vertical, up means positive, down means negative. That is how y-axis behaves. And horizontal, right and left. Right is positive, left is negative. All of us know that. That is how our number line is there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. पीछे जाओगे तो -1, -2, -3 and so on. Is that clear now? Is that cool? Got it? So we saw this in terms of example also when I made the table. We saw it graphically also and we are feeling so enlightened. Wow, this is what is happening. So in vertical perspective, things are either moving up or down. And in horizontal perspective, things are either moving right or left. Cool. So same line can be viewed in two different ways. Having said that, there are more things to come here. Now, all of you pay attention. If a line has got a negative slope, the previous line was like this. Any line is like this, anywhere. So if you see here, in this here, the line is passing through. By the way, you know what is the quadrants? For the sake of scale, this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, this is the fourth quadrant. All right. Do you understand? In first quadrant, x and y both are positive. In second quadrant, x is negative while y is positive. In third quadrant, both x and y are negative. And in fourth quadrant, x is positive while y is negative. So this is just for the sake of simplicity that I wrote it here, and you will always be referring to this. Is that clear now? Okay. So let this be L1, line 1. Let this be L2, line 2. So what has happened here? Line 1 is passing through fourth quadrant, first quadrant and second quadrant. Line 2 is passing through fourth quadrant, third quadrant and second quadrant. There can also be a line that passes to the origin like this. It is passing through the fourth and second quadrant, not through first and third because it has crossed the origin. Alpha, Radhe Radhe. Okay, this is line 3. All these lines will be having negative slopes, right? Even if I have not written the equation, we can kind of understand that. Can we? We can. If a line has a shape like this, now how do you know the shape? Something is like this. This is going to be of negative slope. Something is like this, going to be of positive slope. We have analyzed by now that wherever you see the point from both the perspectives, up upon left or down upon right is what tells us that the slope is negative. Is that clear? All of you? Is that clear, guys? Did you understand that we have kind of, blended in so many things? The example, algebra, graph. Let's blend some trigonometry also. What is the angle? Angle is always made. The angle subtended by a line is always what? Calculated in an anti-clockwise way from the positive axis. Here you see all these angles, if I calculate, all these angles, theta are greater than 90 degree. Wait, theta greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree, right? It's an obtuse angle. It's an obtuse angle. It's an obtuse angle. So y equal to mx plus c, when we are discussing this, m is the slope which also happens to be tan theta. And if you don't know, there's no need to know here. Also in CAT, there will not be much of trigonometry, but just to give you a perspective, from this tan theta actually gives us the angle. Because tan is vertical upon horizontal, sine upon cos, perpendicular upon the base. That is what tan is. We do it in geometry, right? Right angle triangles. So tan theta is negative if the angle is obtuse. Clear? So now we have seen it different ways, many different ways. Cool. We can also say one thing, that if there is a straight line, it can pass through a maximum of 3 quadrants and a minimum of 2 quadrants. Can I say that? There is no way a line can pass through a single quadrant. It's impossible. And even a line cannot pass through all 4 quadrants. That's also impossible. It will either pass through 2 quadrants, like in this case, where it was passing through the origin, or it will pass through 3 different quadrants. Can I say that? Okay. I think you're noting these things down, right? I'm not writing it all, but you need to understand. Also, I can say one more thing. If that's the case, that line can pass through, at minimum of 2 quadrants, maximum of 3 quadrants, I can also say one thing, that in the first case, line 1, the number of, I'll erase the parts which are not required now. I can also say that, for line 1, there are definite integral points for x comma y. For line 1, there are definite integral points in first quadrant. Not in third, not in second. In second and third quadrant, it's infinite. It's going beyond the limits. But in first quadrant, it has got limits. The limits are this y-intercept and this x-intercept. So now you know, now the life has become full circle. You understood that what intercepts are, their the utility of intercepts, slope, etc. So now the question arises, how many integral number solutions are there? A very famous question in CAT. We'll come to that question, but before that I would be giving you enough insight into how line behaves. It's not end yet. And one thing is left. So I started with the general form and this form, slope intercept, 2 intercepts, telling the utility of it. I'm telling you utility of also the utility of 2 intercepts form after this. But first discuss this. Now, having said that, for line 3, there are definite integral points only in quadrant 3. Only in quadrant 3, yes or no? For line 2, there are no definite integral points. Okay, so there is only one, that is 0, 0. Definite nahi hai, there will be infinite. Okay, so because the line is infinite length, no, definitely milega. Basically, you can calculate the some integral points, but you cannot calculate the total number of integral points. Total number of integral points you can't calculate. But for line 1, line 3, you can. Line 1, line 2, you can. Okay, having said that, the same thing, if okay, what is this? The crash course started, oh, there is a 6,000 off. Coupon code is last chance. How cool this code is. Last chance. Wow. Oh, this is nice. It looks like some kind of vintage sort of design. Well, chalo. I will do something here. I'll just erase this. And now I'll show you another example. Now we have, I'll take another example. I'll take an example I'll take an example where the slope will be positive. Slope will be positive. Okay. Let me take something like 2x minus 3y is equal to 60. Is the slope positive here? I think yes. How? Just try to write it in slope-intercept form. So minus 3y is equal to minus 2x plus 60. Let's divide by minus 3 everywhere. Y, 2 by 3 times x, and this becomes minus 20. Wow, slope is positive here. Slope is 2 by 3. The slope is 2 by 3. So now this is going to give you a perspective when you guys are fashionably saying that x grows and y declines, or x declines and y grows, all those things you were saying, right? But now this entire notion of your will change. You will say, oh, what just happened? Chalo, dekhte hain. Here we have x, here we have y. Obviously, x will be a multiple of 3. If I want y and x to be integers, the same thing which we earlier had, x will be a multiple of 3. Okay, so let's say x is 3. 3 got cancelled, so I get minus 18 as the value of y. Is that right? Now, if I take x as 6, the next multiple of 3, 3 into 6, 2 to 4, I got minus 16. All right. Now I take, this is 9, this is minus 14. Now the problem is, what's the problem? The problem is both are growing or declining at the same time. Here 3 is added, here 2 is added. So in the earlier case, where one was growing, other was declining, that case has entirely changed. Both are either growing, and if I go reverse, both are either declining at the same time. Yeah. Why is that happening? Certainly negative sign, theek hai, but let's talk, some mathematical part. Why is this happening? Because slope here is, this guy's slope here is positive. Getting it? Slope is positive. Both will grow or both will decline. The vertical distance traveled will be positive for positive horizontal distances. If I want to make a graph out of it, now you will see it clearly. All right. The graph will look like this. This is 30, 0. This is 0, minus 20. Oh, so cool. So now if you look at the same perspective, which I'll not repeat again, again is not required. If you look at from this point of view, okay, I see from here, okay, I see, oh, ye upar ja raha hai. So it is going up and right. Right? And if some sadist looks from here like this, niche, looks like he will say, oh, it is going down and left. The thing is, from the point of view of both the people, up upon right or down upon left is essentially positive only. Up is positive, right is positive, down is negative, left is negative. Negative or negative is also positive. This is also positive. Do you get that? So from whatever perspective you see, the slope is positive. You see like this or you see like this, the slope is going to be positive. Is that clear? हाँ सलोनी, मैं समझ गया तुम्हारी बात को यार. Cat only? उसमें क्या है Saloni, if you say negative, then you have to, okay Saloni, there's a problem in your statement. I'll tell you why I stopped you there. I know you understand that, but let's be clear. When you said negative sign, you will have to say the coefficient of one of the x, one between x and y is negative, other is positive. You have to say that. The problem is if both become negative, your statement will not hold true. Getting it, Saloni? That's why I said if you are talking something mathematical, you'll have to take all the cases into consideration. You will say you will say one coefficient is negative, other is positive. That's why it is happening. If you say negative coefficient, that won't make sense because possibly both will be negative, right? Now you get it. Cool. ऐसे cat only से बात कर रही थी. Oh, cool. Okay, now यहाँ देखते हैं. So we have done everything, and from the trigonometric point of view, the angle that is made, wow, it's an acute angle. It's less than 90. And tan of an acute angle is always positive. All of us know that. Tan 0 is 0. We know that, right? And tan 90 is positive infinity. Everything in between is there. Acute angle. So if I do the same thing we did for earlier cases, and I make just this diagram. So any graph which will have a positive slope will either be this, go through this, or go through this. Getting it? All are making acute angle with the positive x-axis. Line 1, line 2, line 3. In line 1, what is happening? We are getting definite integral points in second quadrant. In line 2, it's passing through origin, leave it. In line 3, we are getting definite integral points. Where? In fourth quadrant. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Looks good. All of you got it? Maza aaya? This is interesting. Don't you think it's making a lot of sense now? These things are very complicated in originality. If you go and read this in the book, probably, I don't know whether they've given it a book or not. Even if they have given, it will be so complicated that you will go bonkers. Right? But now it becomes very simple because I have showed this to you in a way that looks very realistic and not just, imaginative fluff. No, it's something which you have been seeing every day. Right? Shall we? Yes. All you do is you have to do all things that we are doing over here and solve at least 20 mocks, full length mocks. All right. So now comes the next question: how to find those integral points? Okay. Yeah, Vasant. But before going there is a question in our mind, and the question is of integral points. This question has been, kind of dividing humans into different sects. Sounds philosophical, political, but yeah, that's true. I have seen people getting divided into finding the methods to find integral points. There's so many different people believing in different things altogether, but then only one is right. Let's go there. But before that, let's look at the third form of straight line. So by now, what are things we have done? It's like a Netflix series, my classes. I discussed about solving a system of linear equations by elimination and substitution, which everybody knew. That was for the icebreaker. Then I discussed that straight lines have got three different representations: general form, slope-intercept form, two-intercepts form. General form was for just representation, slope-intercept was for whatever we did now. So do not forget where we were. It's a loop. We're going back to the main set, and the main set is a third form, that is two-intercepts form. Are you with me? Are you following me? Okay. So now we have two-intercepts form. This form was somehow my favorite when I was a kid. You know why? Because when I was a kid, and when all of you were kids, majorly in 7th standard, 8th standard, there's a problem that teacher wanted us to draw graphs. And our parents bought us those graph copies, thin copies of 50, 60 pages where green graphs were imprinted, right? My childhood was at least a decade before your childhood. So मेरे childhood में graph paper वैसा ही था, आज भी वैसा ही होगा. It won't change, right? So, you know what, it was, that graph paper was something which, which was driving me crazy. I was hating mathematics for that. Why do I have to, go by scale 1 centimeter, ऊपर नीचे हो गया, marks कट जाते हैं? Is that the way to teach, really? Then, when I grew up, I realized that all that is fluff. Everything in schools that is done is just done to make slaves of people, not to make them creative thinkers. That is the reason I joined teaching and tried to convert my students into creative thinkers. Cat तो एक साथ में बस सोने पे सुहागा है. Cat is just an after effect. Okay. So, two intercepts why this became my favorite. So let's say I have my teacher is like a sadist and she or he says 2x plus 3y equal to 60, go and draw the graph. इसके 10 marks मिलेंगे. I like, seriously? Would I develop by doing this? Not really. So, this became my favorite. Why? Because when I divided this whole thing by 60, I got x by 30 and y by 20 equal to 1. Now I know 30 is the x-intercept, 20 is the y-intercept. I just have to draw like this and mark 30, 0 here and 0, 20 here, and I am the most sorted guy in the classroom. Right? Krisha, yes. That's called getting high. But you're saying hypnotize as a kid is like getting high in the adulthood. Is that clear? Just have to measure कि ये 30, 20 हो, line खींच दो. Straight line है. Curve है ही नहीं. वो बिल्कुल सही जगह जाएगी. Getting it? That is why it became my favorite. And in CAT, this has got a great utility, obviously. Isn't it? Because now I can deal with any stuff. If I draw this graph, I can do anything. Man, I can just calculate the number of natural solutions, integral solutions, and can find the area also. I can just find the area. If someone asks me, what is the area between x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and this line? So x equal to 0 मतलब y axis, y equal to 0 मतलब x axis. इसके बीच में triangle है, 13 और 20 over half. That's it, right? So, कौन सी line repeat करनी है? यार मैं line याद थोड़ी ना आया हूँ, मुंह से निकल रही मेरी. It's not just spontaneous. कबीर दास केवल बोलते थे, शिष्य लिखा करते थे. जब कबीर दास बाद में बोलते थे, अरे मैंने कब बोला? बोले सर आपने बोला था, लिखा है मैंने. फिर बाद में वो चीज़ सबने पढ़ डाली. तुम लाइन लिखो वो सब और बाद में लोगों को फैला देना. All right? चलो. So now we understand what is the why two intercept form is it helps us a lot. Coming back to the question. The question, when someone asks you, they will, what they will ask. 2x plus 3y equal to 60. Find the number of integral solutions. All right. The answer is infinite. It's a straight line. It has got infinite length. There will be infinite integral solutions. We can't even calculate that. Oh, Ritik, really? Thanks for saying that. Now, 2x plus 3y equal to 60 and integral solutions are infinite. So what can be found out? Because Saloni ने 24 बोल के बड़ी खुश हुई थी, अब वो ओ कर रही है. So the question would be that x and y are what? Natural. X and y belong to a set of natural numbers. Clear? And why this is making sense? Because if you try to draw the graph here, x-intercept is 30, y-intercept is 20. ये ऐसा दिखाई देगा. So you know what? You will be able to find only the natural solutions. Why? We just discussed a lot of things here. The slope is negative. You can find the definite number of solutions only in the first and the third quadrant. In this case, first quadrant only. That is why it is natural number solutions. Is that clear? If I make a graph in such a way that it passes through third quadrant like this, then I would be giving you where x is negative and y is also negative. then only I'll be able to calculate the exact number of solutions. Do you understand that? So in CAT, these guys can play with your mind. Even if you think you know everything, they'll play with your mind just by doing this. They will say X is positive, Y is negative, and you will be like, oh, seriously? You'll start putting the values and you will calculate and you will go mad after 3 minutes. Okay? So that is where two intercepts form comes into play. It just takes 3 seconds to draw this and like, okay, now I can calculate it. Natural number चाहिए, मिल जाएगा. अगर वो कहीं यहाँ आ गया, I chose this. Okay. Let's say the graph was somewhere over here. नहीं आएगा answer. Solution is 0. Do you understand that? Cool. But if I make an equation like this, which was going through this, then I would have said that I want the number of negative integral solutions. Getting it? Negative. Because I know in third quadrant X and Y both are negative and I can find the answer over there. So I hope this is clear. To solve for number of integral solutions, that's a different thing altogether. The first thing is, do they even exist? And they would exist only if they have endpoints. They have a defined X and Y intercept, right? And you'll get to know it only if you draw this graph. There is no other way. Other way is thinking in graphs. Okay, so if you think like that, you've got great IQ, that's a different thing altogether. But draw this graph will take hardly 3 seconds. And again, you'll be most sorted guy in the classroom, in the examination center. So chalo, let's solve it. Now how to solve it? To solve it is an easy task. All of us know it because we've done so many things. Now we know that if I start with X and Y, here, now coming to the second stage of solving this question. Now we know that 2 and 3 both are the factors of 60. We know that? Yes or no? We know that. Clearly we know that. 2 divides 60 completely, 3 divides 60 completely. Okay, cool. That means that X and Y both can be 0. Both can be 0. Let me put X as 0, Y will be 20. This is for the starting, just for the breaking the ice. But this is not going to be counted. We won't count that. You know that, right? Why we won't count that? Because they are asking about natural solutions. Had they asked the whole number of solutions, in that case, I would have counted this as well. I'm not going to count it. No. Okay? So I'll just put a neutral emoji. I'm not going to count it. I know this is true. I'm not going to count it because it's natural. The moment you count it, you will be marking a question confidently wrong. Full confidence से गलत करके आ जाओगे, मत करना. Okay. So now we have taken the minimum possible value of X. Minimum possible. Negative तो जा ही नहीं रहा है, positive लेना है. तो अब ये छोटा है तो उसे बड़ा करना पड़ेगा मेरे को. X will be growing by the coefficient of Y. 3, 6, 9, 12 and so on. Y will be declining by coefficient of X. That is 20 but 18, 16, 14, 12 and so on. It will be highly stupid of us if we keep on writing this. Right? Who's going to write this all? Only idiots will do that. Smart guys will say, oh, okay, 18 से start हो रहा है, 2 कम हो रहा है, 2 का टेबल बन गया, 2 9s are 18, 2 8 are 16, in the end 2 1s are 2 मिल जाएगा, 9 is the answer. Is that clear? So we'll always count from that value in X and Y जिसको हमने maximum से शुरू किया है. Is that clear? Understood? Now, and if they're asking whole number of solutions, you can go to 0 also. So 9 natural solutions are there and overall 11 whole solutions will be there. Is that right? 0, 20 and 30, 0. Is that right? So 9 natural, 11 whole. How she got 24? Who is she? Jatin, what happened to you? She, अच्छा 24, oh she, okay, she is Sanya? नहीं, Saloni थी वो. Saloni is she. Saloni, how you got 24? There can be multiple reasons for that, Jatin. Anyways, so we are clear now. 9, 11. So those whole solutions are this. The intercepts themselves are whole numbers, right? Okay. Now, having said that, I want you guys to analyze something. Let's analyze something. Let's identify a pattern over here. Dekho. The pattern here is, all of you need to understand this, but आयुष्मान वो दूसरा है, वो ये नहीं है ब्रो. That's different kind of question. वहाँ पे when x square minus y square आता है, तब आता है वो. ठीक है आयुष्मान, don't get confused. This is what happens when you just know the formula but not the logic, Ayushman, and you are a good student. I know you personally. Don't think like that, okay? पूरा algebra refresh कराऊंगा मैं, don't worry. All those myths will be gone. Now, the pattern here is, this is increasing by 3, this is decreasing by 2. Okay? 3, 2, 3, 2, that is what is happening. All in all, by going vertically, horizontally, what we exactly are doing, we are covering these 60 steps. 2 at a time, 3 at a time, right? That's what we are doing. Essentially, we are covering 6 steps at once. That is LCM of 2 and 3. So 60 divided by the LCM of 2 into 3, if I write that, आयुष्मान देखो अब जरूरत नहीं होगी इसकी, उसको -1 कर दो if you want to have natural solutions, और इसी को +1 कर दो if you want to have the whole solutions. I hope it's clear to everyone. और टेबल क्यों बनाना है आयुष्मान, आएंगे वहाँ पे. So now we can generalize this. We have just generalized it. The generalization is that if we have an equation which looks like this, ax plus by is equal to k, so it's natural. अब पता है यहाँ बात क्या है, नेचुरल और होल सॉल्यूशंस तो कहने की बातें हैं. वो तब होगा जब वो लाइन इस तरह की हो, लाइन यहाँ पास होगी तो नेचुरल सॉल्यूशंस होंगे ही नहीं. Do you understand that? The idea should be we are trying to find the definite solutions. In this case, they are natural. The graph shows that. Getting it? But in CAD, if they do something where x and y both are negative, then also this formula is going to work. Do you understand that? So natural solutions important nahi hai. Important hai the findable solutions. Do you understand that? Which happen to be natural in this case. Is that clear? It could have been negative integral solutions if the line was this. We'll do a question like that also. Clear? This formula is going to work. Okay. So, if this is the case, then k upon LCM of a comma b minus 1 for the findable solutions, and k upon LCM of a comma b plus 1 for the whole number of solutions, जहाँ पे 0 भी count हो जाएगा. And I hope you have written that. Done? Looks good? Interesting stuff? Wow. Now, इतना सिंपल नहीं है लाइफ. इसमें एक और चीज़ है. सानिया will be there soon. वो चीज़ ये है, this is going to happen only when, if मैं IF नहीं IFF लिख रहा हूँ, you know, it's not that I don't know English, it's not that I don't know spelling. IFF is technical term which means if and only if. In case you don't know, IFF is if and only if. If and only if A and B are the factors of K. If and only if A and B, both A and B are the factors of K, then only this is going to work, otherwise not. If that's not the case, then what we will do, I'll discuss that as well. I'm going to erase this. Let me take another example. Now the example is, I'll take 2x plus 3y. I'll take a number of k जो कि 2 का multiple हो 3 का ना हो. Yeah, Mahima? I think you joined late, huh? I made a table. So we subtracted 1 because 0 wala case was not under the natural solutions. Okay? Plus 1 because there were 2 cases of whole solutions, 0 when x becomes 0, y becomes 0. That can happen only when both are factors. Okay? Now, 2x plus 3y. Chetan, exactly. That's right. So 2x plus 3y. This मैं इसको लिख लेता हूँ. How much? 260. Yeah. 260 is a multiple of 2, but not of 3. Now what to do? Okay, so let's do this conventionally first of all, then we'll go on and do the other stuff, some quick stuff. So, all of you, this is x, this is y, so obviously I can take y as 0, but I cannot take x as 0. Is that right? I can't take x as 0 because if I take x as 0, 3y is 260, y will become fractional. I don't need fractions in my life for now. Is that clear? I need to have the integers. So I can put y as 0 because x will be 130 in that case. Is that right? X is going to be decreased by 3 units each and y will increase by 2 units each. But again, I'll be the biggest stupid if I try to solve it via y because I don't know where to stop. Here I know where to stop. I need to stop the moment I'm close to 0. So 2 steps downwards, 128, 126, karte raho, 2 steps niche hai. So this is basically table of 2, this 2 into 65, I need to stop at 2 into 1. Is that right? Is that right? ये मैंने क्या किया? Oh no, I've done it wrong. Not 2, 3 से घटेगा वो. 3 है coefficient y का. It's not 2 guys. So 127, then 124 and so on. At one point of time, I'll get something in the end. 3 steps. Yeah, thank you, Saloni and Radhe. So, I have to stop at a point which is more than 0. How would I do that? How would I do that? I do that because it's an AP. It's an arithmetic progression that comes into play. So, now, I want to tell you a great technique to find a general term of an AP. Most of you know it. All of you know the technique, but most of you know the great technique. Batch 1 and batch 2 students of iQuanta, right? The great technique is, you remember that? Yes or no? Chetan, because in that case, A and B were co-prime. It was co-prime. That is the reason. Okay, C. So whatever the gap is, the difference is minus 3. I'll write minus 3 times n. Minus 3 times n. Now minus 3n हो गया. अब क्या होगा भाई? So if I put n as 1, I'm getting minus 3, but I should get 130. No, natural solution पूछा गया, I should get 127. So if I put n as 1, I should get 127, but I'm getting minus 3. This minus is coming from the common differences. So 127 is 130 more than minus 3. So minus 3n plus 30 is my general term. This is going to help me a lot. Is that clear? All of you got it? Is that cool? Yeah, Ayushman, exactly. Minus 3n plus 130. If you put n as 1, you get 127. You put n as 2, you get this. You can check it. I have to stop. I don't want this guy to be 0. I don't want this guy to be 0. So I'll have to equate it to greater than 0. Do you understand? Which means n is less than 130 by 3. This is 3 4s are 12, 3 3s are 43.33. N is less than that. I need the natural integral values. So there are 43 such values. Answer is 43. Is that clear? Chetan, GB Chetan, you got that? A and B were co-prime there. So 43 is the answer. Cool. But if they talk about the whole number of solutions, तो क्या हो जाएगा? This extra will be added. So someone is asking me, I think, who was that? Someone was asking me, I think Mahima was asking me, or someone was asking me, वो +1 क्यों हो रहा है? +1 यहाँ पे क्यों बनेंगे? होल नंबर सॉल्यूशन. यहाँ हम एक बात है. +1 अभी आएंगे उसमें फॉर्मूले पे. यहाँ पे वी आर नॉट गेटिंग x as 0, ओनली y is 0. सो द फॉर्मूला दैट आई हैड मेड अर्लियर, उस फॉर्मूले से अगर हमें सॉल्व करना है इसको, तो हम क्या करेंगे? All of you see this. The formula was like this: LCM of 2 and 3, right? GV Chetan, 2 and 3 का LCM is product of 2 and 3 only. They're co-prime numbers. So 260 divided by LCM of 2 and 3. इसका लोगे आप greatest integer value. Greatest integer value. Got it? The greatest integer. Because you are getting 43.33. Greatest integer is 43. All right. In the previous case, we are getting the exact integral value. So there was no need of taking that greatest integer. If you take it the same, even you take that. That is natural solutions. Natural in this case, otherwise findable solutions. And we just need to add one for the case of whole solutions. So if generalizing it, if I have something like this, ax plus by is equal to k upon LCM of a comma b, its greatest integer for natural solutions and its greatest integer +1 for whole solutions, when, if and only if either A or B but not both. That is the mathematical language. In mathematics, nothing is left to be, nothing is, you don't need, leave anything so people can get confused, right? But not both. If and only if either A or B but not both is a factor of K. You might be thinking, मैंने बोल दिया either A or B. If I said that, then but not both बोलने क्या ज़रूरत थी? थी ज़रूरत, because in mathematics, either A or B can also mean both A and B. You understand that, right? Logical gates, either or. Computer engineers might be understanding that, but really well. If you know only English, you will say either A or B is sufficient. But if you know mathematics as well, you will say either A or B, but not both has to be there. Is that clear? All of you? Clear? Great. The problem is, what's the problem? The problem is in the questions where neither A nor B is a factor of K. Yes, Ayushman. K, तो कौन सा ले लूँ मैं? कुछ भी ले सकता हूँ. I'll take 6, 6, 5, 6, 3, 3, 0. नहीं, क्या 6 क्यों ले रहा हूँ मैं? 5 into 7, 35 into 11, 385 ले लेता हूँ. This is neither a multiple of 2 nor a multiple of 3. आयुष्मान 70 में थोड़ा सा मैंने प्राइम, ओके, मैंने ये 385 ले लिया. ओके, अब प्रॉब्लम बताई गया है. Here lies the biggest problem, because you cannot break the ice. In previous two cases, when one of them or both of them were the factors, you could break the ice by assuming other to be 0. Here, you'll put x or y as 0 and you'll feel stupid, because you'll get fractions. So what needs to be done in this case? In this case, there is something which I did in one of the classes. है ना? 2 + 3 5 होने दो, आयुष्मान, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. हाँ, तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? अच्छा, तुम वैसा सोच रहे हो? हाँ, गुड. Everybody, now I'll use modulo functions. They are remainder functions. Basically, I'll write y as, बहुत ही ध्यान से मेरी बात देखनी है तुम लोग, समझनी है इस बात को, y as -2x plus 385 whole upon 3. Okay, now I can also write y as, this is -2x. That looks beautiful, huh? Okay, all of you. I can write, pay attention, I can write, this is -2x plus 384. 384 plus 1. Do you mind that? I hope not. Do you mind this? Not really. What I did over here, I broke 385 in such, I broke numerator in such a way that I get the multiples of 3 already, where 384 is a multiple of 3. So now I don't need to hit my head against the wall to get what the value of x or y is. Because now my life has simplified. I know 384, I don't need to care about it because this is a multiple of 3 already. I need to care about only about these two guys, -2x plus 1. Yeah. So essentially -2x plus 1 need to be a factor of 3. Now things have become smaller, easily manageable. Is that right? So what can be the value of x which can produce a number in the numerator that is a multiple of 3? Student, yeah, but I think you joined late. Basic से moderate पे आ चुके हैं हम लोग अभी तक. Also, don't worry. Also, there's one thing more which I can do. I can write this -2x as x. You will say, why? How can I do this? I can do this because -2 is a negative remainder for 3. Its positive remainder will always be plus x. Is that clear? Do you understand that? Rather, yeah, x will be 2, but to make it more simplified, समझते हो ना, negative remainder, positive remainder. So difference between the positive and the negative remainder is always divisor. So if negative remainder is -2, positive will be +1, because difference of 1 and -2 is 3. So x plus 1 is what we are dealing with now. Our life has become very simple. So if this guy is a multiple of 3, x has to be 2. Let's start with 2. Clear? So all of this can be done mentally if you solve 5 to 6 problems like this. Understood, all of you? Understood, all of you? Nice, huh? जतिन, ठीक है, देखो, तुम एक बार इसे छोड़ दो, -2x plus 1 ही रहने दो. अगर तुम x को 2 रखोगे तो -2 into 2 -4 plus 1 is -3, which is a multiple of 3. Simple, right? Oh, student, okay, yeah, you can watch that. Okay, if you just, 384 is already a multiple of 3. -2x plus 1 needs a multiple of 3. So I can take x as 2. If I do that, -2 into 2 becomes -4, plus 1 is -3, which is a multiple of 3. That is one way. But what I did here was an even smarter way, that I looked at the possibility of having a positive remainder. So here you need to understand one clear thing. Positive remainders minus the negative remainders is always equal to divisor. So, -2, if -2 is the negative remainder, then what will be the positive remainder? Divisor here is 3. 3 से डिवाइड हो रहा है, देखो इसको क्या बन जाएगा. ये तो माइनस नेगेटिव, तो ऑलरेडी माइनस हो ही चुका है ना. हाँ, ऑलरेडी माइनस, क्या हो जाएगा ये? क्या कर रहा हूं मैं? I was right. If you solve this, you get r as 1, right? Do you understand that? This is something which you need to write somewhere. It's going to help you a lot. लिख लो इसको. Positive remainder and negative remainders का difference is always the divisor. So here if I saw minus 2 as the negative remainder, so plus 1 will be the positive remainder. So basically this can be interpreted as x plus 1 because everything else gets divided. X plus 1 is a multiple of 3. Oh, is that difficult? Not really. X plus 1 multiple of 3, that means x is 2. Is that clear? Is that cool? Now this is something which would not be, this is not going to involve any shortcut. But this is a brilliant observation that we can make to solve these kind of questions. Okay, so 2 is there. Once you get 2, obviously you get 3 y also. 2 2s are 4, put it there. 381. 127 is what you get as y. Clear? And now you're going to do the same stuff which you're doing earlier. Y is going to decrease by 2 units, isn't it? So, minus 2 times n. I'm trying to generalize this guy. Minus 2 times n. If I put n as 1, I get minus 2, but I need 127. So let's add 129 here. This guy has to be less than 0. That's all. Is that clear? हाँ, बाकी तो बताइए. So now we have dealt with so many things. Let's have a full circle. We did linear equations, ways to solve it, simultaneous equations. Then we discussed the straight lines, 3 different ways to represent it. All different ways had some kind of utility, greater than 0, Ayushman, you're right. Some kind of utility. All those utilities have been discussed. And the biggest question that is, that ruins the sleep of all the CAT aspirants is finding the integral solutions, which you are now clear about in terms of linear equations. Degree 1. Ayushman will go degree 2 also in the upcoming classes, but degree 1 का clear है. अब सवाल वो बनता है जिसमें which has divided the people in different sects. And the question is this: what if 3x plus, let's say, 4y is equal to k? Now, k is not known. K is not known. अब वो पता क्या बोलेगा सवाल में? वो बोलेगा there are 5 natural solutions of what of this? Find the minimum value of k. Okay? This question blasts the mind of many people. Because if you start using that formula, which a lot of you, I think, have already started doing, you will get the wrong answer. That is going to happen. That is bound to happen. You know why? Because if you use that formula, you are already assuming 109 महिमा, because if you take मैं तो पीछे भूल क्या था, minus 2n. So yeah, minus 2n. Why? Because minus 2 was the difference, common difference in the AP. And the first term was 127. So when I took minus 2n, if I put n equal to 1, I should get 127. Right? But minus 2n will yield only minus 2. So there is some kind of excess, and that excess is of 129. So as when I put n as 1, I get minus 2 into 1 plus 129, which is 127, the first number. And as you keep on increasing n by 1 step, this entire value will decrease by 2 steps. So 127, 125 and so on. Right? Okay? Mahima. Cool. Now, this one. This question, so people who use the formula here, those people already assume that either A or B or both is a factor of k. But what if that case is not true? That is how people try to find the minimum value of k. And that is going to fetch a wrong answer. So, how do this? We'll do it by the simplest possible way. Let's have x and y here. I need natural solutions. Oh, cool. How many? 5. Great. So tell me something. what is the minimum value of x? What is the minimum natural number? It's 1. Let's start with 1. And as we know that x will grow by the coefficient of y, 4 add karte raho. 1 plus 4, 5, plus 4, 9, plus 4, 13, plus 4, 7. I'll stop here. I need 5 solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ho gaya. Now, in case of y, I have to, because if x is increasing, y must be decreasing. So y ko shuru niche se karenge. Again with 1. And it increases with the coefficient of x. So 1, then 4, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. That is what we have. So we got 5 natural solutions. Nothing can be less than that. Put any of these values here and get the answer. So ये put कर देता हूँ मैं. 3 into 17 plus 4 into 1. It's 55. That's the answer. Is that clear? Is that clear? आया मज़ा? This is a very interesting question. Similarly, if they had asked, let's say, 5 whole solutions, तो हम क्या करते? And k minimum value. All of us know that the minimum value of whole number is 0. Rest everything remains same. 0 plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Here 0. We can even play smarter. Why to calculate all of it? कोई एक ही काफ़ी है ना. 0 आ गया. That's it. Let's put the value and get the answer. 3 into 16 plus 4 into 0 is 48 is the answer. Minimum value of k for which you'll get 5 whole solutions. Exactly, Ayushman. Start with 0. How simple? Prathamesh, why not take 1 and 13? We can take that as well. Doesn't really matter. We can take anything. This or whatever. You'll get 55 only. Yeah, Vasant. It doesn't really matter. अच्छा, मैं तुम्हें एक बहुत ही अच्छी बात दिखाऊं, एक जादू. Listen to me very carefully. This one says 5 whole solutions, this one says 5 natural solutions. Here the answer is 48, here the answer is 55. This guy is 7 more. Or I can say this guy is plus 3 and plus 4 more. And this plus 3 and plus 4 are derived from this and this. What just happened? Siddhant, I'll do that as well. What just happened? हो क्या गया ये? Plus 3 plus 4. Why is it happening? That is happening because if you put x as 1 at one point of time and then y as 1 at one point of time, then 3x, x is 1, 3x grows by 3, y is 1, 4x grows by 4. Overall the growth is 3 plus 4, that is 7. That is what is happening. That's some kind of insight. Yes. Yes. Do you want me to develop a generalized formula for this as well? I can do that. I can do that. सिद्धांत, एक बात बताओ. अगर यहाँ 0 0 पॉसिबल है तो फॉर्मूला यूज हो सकता है. कौन सा? LCM वाला. Isn't it? That can be used. So here, if I need 5 whole solutions, I'll take the LCM of 3 and 4 and multiply this guy by 1 less than 5. That is 4. I would get 48. That happens to be my minimum value of k for a whole solution. Is that right? And if I want this, I just need to add 3 and 4. So basically what is happening here, what's happening here is, everybody pay attention. Let's say there is a equation like this, ax plus by equal to k. Someone asks you n whole solutions हमें चाहिए, okay? मतलब they ask you हमें k min चाहिए. This is what I want, and this is the condition. Condition is it has got, क्या लिख रहा हूँ यार मैं, हाँ, it has got n whole solutions. हाँ, अरे प्रभात आ रहे वहाँ पे, पहले तो बुरा हो जाए bro. n whole solutions हम कैसे करेंगे? We'll just, multiply n minus 1 with the LCM of a comma b. All right, and that's all. And if I want, all of you, is that clear? If I want n natural solutions, in that case, pay attention, I'll have n minus 1 times LCM of a comma b plus a plus b. Just note this down. I'll go to k max as well. k min का लिख लो. देखो मैंने इसे जनरलाइज कर दिया ब्रो आज ही तुम्हारे सामने, और कितना इफेक्टिवली जनरलाइज हुआ है ये. I could use this formula because here in the case of whole solutions we took x and y as 0. That's why formula was being used. Yeah. Clear? Yes, Ayushman. अब आते हैं के मैक्स पे, मजा ही आ जाएगा. All of you, pay attention. So I have 3x plus 4y equal to k, and they're asking about find the value of k max if this guy has got, this equation has got 5 natural solutions. ठीक है भाई, चलो फाइंड आउट करते हैं. यहाँ भी हम कुछ स्मार्ट वाला काम करेंगे. Now, Astha, k is 55 plus 3 and plus 4, where 3 and 4 were the coefficients basically of a and b. Yeah. Kevin, in that case you won't be able to find, no, because that is either both will grow or decline simultaneously. So we won't be able to find a limiting factor over there. Okay, Kevin? That's a good question, by the way. So here, everybody, if I was about to find the value k min, I would have started with what? With what? Yes, Astha, exactly. Just add a and b. That's cool. But a and b should be co-prime, Astha. That's the condition. A and b must be co-prime. If they are common, just divide everything by the HCF, the entire equation. Now, if I wanted to find the value, the natural solution, I would have started with 1. For whole, it will be 0. Natural का k min पे 1 पे start करूँगा. अच्छा ठीक है, ध्यान से सुनना मेरी बात को. And when I started with 1, it grows with the coefficient of y, next becomes 5. That is how it goes, if it is for minimum. But when you're dealing with the maximum value, I can take 2, right? I can take 2, yeah. I can take 3 as well. Can I take 4 as well? Can I? Not really. I can't take 4. We'll start overlapping. I'll take a value, the first value, which is just 1 less than the coefficient of y, so that it becomes, the things make sense. So x will be starting with 3. That's all. Then plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Got it, everyone? All right. And here I'll start with the y ka value, which is 1 less than the coefficient of 3, which will be 2. Check this out. 2 plus 3, 5 plus 3, 8 plus 3, 11 plus 3, 14. Put any value, you'll get 65 as the answer. Is that clear, everyone? And for whole solutions, it will be same, because essentially all natural numbers are whole numbers also. So we don't have to consider 0. Is that clear? So it's meaningless to have whole solutions and natural for k max. It will be same for both the values. All right. इंटरेस्टिंग है ना, मजा आ गया ना, एकदम से लगा कि 4 एक कम, तभी तो वो सेंस बनेगा. अगर 4 से शुरू कर दो फिर सेंस ही नहीं बनेगा. ऑल राइट. व्हाट इन्फिनाइट? चिराग, इन्फिनाइट के का वैल्यू ले लो इन्फिनाइट, तो एक्स और वाई के सोल्यूशंस तुम्हारे 5 नहीं आएंगे, वो भी इन्फिनाइट आ जाएंगे ब्रो. द लिमिटिंग फैक्टर इज दैट इट शुड हैव ओनली 5 सोल्यूशंस, राइट चिराग? Right, Chirag? I think you got it. If you take k infinite, then x and y will also be having infinite solutions. When will this class end? Right now. Yeah, Chirag. It was supposed to be of 1 or 30 minutes, and we've done that. You know what? We, right now, I have discussed, I won't say I've discussed one complete chapter, but I have discussed something which I have felt is very, people find it very difficult. I have been teaching for 11 years, this is my 12th year of teaching, and I know what I have seen. Every year I have seen that people get somehow stuck in this. Samyak, you are always late, bro, I don't know why. I have majorly seen that I just joined. Okay, so this is something which is I would say a sub-concept or a concept in which there are questions in CAT, and this is going to be this entire session, even after recording is over, people are watching it afterwards, this is going to be a complete refresher about integral solutions based on linear equations. For quadratic and all, we'll be doing in the upcoming sessions. So I will just like it if you guys throw a like, at least throw a like, man. Okay, Samyak, it's all right. You can watch it afterwards. Next gen कल class VARC का है. All right then. प्रणीत, फिर के की तो बहुत सारी वैल्यूज आएंगी ना. चलो नहीं, चलो in upcoming sessions we'll discuss those things as well. Okay, don't worry, I'll be here again. Okay, Sania. Very good, Malik. Yeah, class is over, Shivangi. Chalo. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night. It's already 10:30. I have to travel really far from here. Oh, algebra, God. पता नहीं, मैं modest नहीं बनूंगा इसमें. पर घमंडी भी नहीं बनूंगा. I'll accept that coming from you. I'm really happy to hear that. Take care, everyone. Good night. Oh, Kamovesh. Thank you. 12 a.m. class as well, yeah. Thanks, Basant. Chalo, bye-bye. शुभी 4 क्लास होगी, शुभी, डोंट वरी, अभी होगा. अभिषेक, starting algebra now. I hope you are a part of the crash course. If not, join it and also start solving the PYQs of algebra. Oh, Praneeth, really? Third in iQuanta still only. Wow, I love that, Praneeth. Connect with me sometime. शिदा वो थर्ड ईयर वो इसलिए बोल रहे हैं कि वो ही whenever I go live on YouTube, so he was here 3 years back, so he just joins in just to enjoy the flow. That's what he meant. Okay.